Imagine you're a teenager once again in the late 90s. You're with your girlfriends enjoying a nice drive, chilling, relaxing, feeling all good, when all of a sudden, out of nowhere, some mad chick pulls up beside you, blasting Bad Reputation by Joan Jett. Unknowingly, you've just fallen into the world of 10 Things I Hate About You. Now, if you weren't born between the years of 1990 and 2005, then you may be wondering, what in the love of all things great and small is 10 Things I Hate About You? And if so, then allow me to summarise to you its story in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. 10 Things I Hate About You is a late 90s angst rom-com set in Seattle during the late 90s. The plot follows newcomer Cameron, played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt, as he enters a new school. But like many other rom-coms, he falls for the pretty popular girl, Brianka, played by Larissa Oleynik. Except the one catch about her is that her dad says she can't date anyone until her older sister, Kat, played by Julia Stiles, gets a boyfriend. This led to Cameron and his best mate Michael, played by David Krumholtz, create the perfect plan of, and you guessed it, capitalism, to get the popular rich snob Joey, played by Andrew Keegan, to pay the school badass Patrick, played by the gorgeous, manly, mesmerising Australian actor Heath Ledger. To try and take Kat on a date, also Joey can also get a chance to date Brianka. This would proceed to Patrick stalking and harassing Kat until she would eventually agree to go to a party with Patrick. This would lead to her getting unheavenly drunk and jumping onto a table to dance to the song Hypnotize by the Notorious B.I.G., which would also cause her to hit her head on the chandelier Gandalf style, giving her a very bad concussion. But never fear, for Patrick's here to sweep her off her feet and get her to safety, otherwise known as a swing in the front garden, before driving her home, where she would then make the first move and try and kiss Patrick, just to be turned down and told in an act of absolute chadness, "It's not my style." But you know what is his style, stalking her for another week. But this time he decides to sweep off her feet by paying the school marching band to play I Love You Baby by Frank Sinatra as he sings through the football field speakers, thus leading the duo to go on multiple dates, fooling Kat into thinking Patrick genuinely loves her, which surprisingly, he does. This would eventually lead him to asking her to the prom, which is even better, as now Brianka can go with Cameron and everyone can live happily ever after. Hold on, you're telling me there's still 20 minutes to the film? And they don't live happily ever after? Oh god. Well, actually, after Cameron comes to pick up Brianka, Joey, remember that guy, turns up to her house expecting her to be there, leading to him to dash to the prom, confront Patrick about Cameron sweeping Brianka off her feet, in turn telling Kat Patrick only dated her for the money. This would lead to Kat running out of the prom, not allowing Patrick to explain why he did what he did, which would also lead to her writing a poem called 10 Things I Hate About You. Get it? Which she would read in front of her entire class. But don't you worry, as Patrick did what anyone who was using someone would do, and brought Kat a guitar, as that would apparently resolve Kat's broken trust, which is where the film ends. But if you leave aside all the jarring plot holes and borderline concerning behaviour, it creates this beautifully well written yet charming film, as throughout the story you experience this fascinating growth between all the characters as you watch them fall in love through the weirdest of circumstances, alongside viewing from an audience perspective what they'll do for love. For example, before Cameron finds out Brianka can only date when her sister does, he proceeds to learn French and volunteers to be her personal tutor, just to spend more time with her. And on top of this, you also get the opportunity to understand and feel for why Kat doesn't date anymore, and why he sees the world as a bleak, lifeless void outside of meaning, to which changes when Patrick comes into her life. The movie as a whole takes that awkward time as a teenager and sympathises with their audience, understanding that it's a period of time full of mistakes and flaws, yet doesn't force it down your throat, like many others do, all whilst grounding itself in a believable and heartwarming world. Plus, Heath Ledger's in the film, so like it automatically becomes a fan favourite and a must watch because it's Heath Ledger. And that is 10 things I hate about you.